everyone, and welcome to Art a la Carte. Baylee and I have been working on making this collaboration for a little while now, and it's been so hard not to tell you guys. For those of you who don't know who Baylee is, I will put a link to her channel in the description box below, or at the end of this video will be an annotation on the screen, so you can go over and click on her video and see what she does with this picture. Make sure to comment on her video that Art a la Carte sent you. And for those of you who are visiting from Baylee's channel, welcome. I'm so glad you guys stopped by to see my little part of this video. And so please leave a comment in the section below letting me know that Baylee sent you. Well, let's jump over to my art desk so I can show you how I came up with my part of the picture. So we kind of came up with a theme that we would do water and air. I would do a mermaid, she would do a fairy. And so I first sketched it out on a small little scrap piece of paper, just some ideas, and I really liked my thumbnail. And I knew I wasn't going to be able to capture it if I tried to draw it again as a larger sketch. So I ended up scanning in my thumbnail into my computer and then making it a larger size and printing it off, and then transferring it onto my illustration paper. If you don't know how to transfer your drawings over onto your paper, I have a video on how to make your own transfer paper, and I'll leave a link to that in the description box below. I transferred the drawing over to my illustration board and then began doing a light sketch, and so you can see it just kind of pulls in just kind of more of a guidelines. It doesn't bring out super crisp, but it gives me a good idea of where everything is. And then I went through and just began to sketch in all the details that I wanted with this. The big thing with this was just taking my time and not rushing this drawing. I gave myself quite a few days to work on it. Kind of had fun with it. I wanted to put a lot of detail in there, especially since I only had half of the paper. I wanted to create a world and an environment that was in there, and I knew that I could create that by really just throwing in things. I wanted to be able to look at the picture and always be finding something new. So I would hide little fish all around. I even put several fish hiding in her hair. Super fun. I've done several drawings like this. I did a mermaid coloring book that very similar to this style with just tons of little details. And I really enjoyed doing this kind of style of artwork, just lots of tiny little intricate details and things. Some of you guys have asked me how you can get the mermaid coloring book. I had it offered on Etsy for a while and then took it down, but I will be posting it back up again, so I will leave a link to my Etsy shop. You can find a link to my Etsy shop in the description box, and it should take you right over there where you can download copies of the mermaid coloring book. To get all the different types of fish, I just went through and searched tons of different pictures of fish from tropical areas, and probably not all of them really live in all the same kind of waters. Some are tropical to Australia, America, but I kind of just threw them all together. I didn't try to make sure they were all in the same area. Once I got the sketch the way I liked it, then I went ahead and began to ink it in. I used my 01 Sakura Micron pen to ink this in. It gives me a really smooth line. I really like working with the microns. And again, just took my time. Now, I didn't want to smudge the picture or put a lot of oil into the paper because I knew I was going to put a lot of work on this paper. I'm going to do watercolor and then color pencil over top of it. So to help to keep from smudging or transferring any kind of oil onto the paper, I put a smudge paper underneath my hand so that it's kind of protecting, it's the barrier between the paper and my hand. A lot of artists will go out and get art gloves, which they can wear. I've never purchased one. I just kind of find just a scrap piece of paper works just as well. My hair is very pink in this video. When I actually did the recording of this piece, which was a little while ago because I then had to send it to Baylee and let her do her part, my hair was much pinker then, which was fun because at the time I think Baylee had very colorful hair too. When we were matchy in the weird cool hair department. Then she had to go all normal. Go Baylee. One thing about doing this type of intricate work, it can really make your hand cramp up, so I really encourage you to take breaks, do stretches with your hand, so that you can get through this. But whatever you do is don't just decide, I'm just going to rush through this and be sloppy. Take the breaks if you need to, if you're getting tired, and come back. But don't let your quality of work decrease. Just push yourself to make it the very best that you possibly can. Because my part of the picture is based underwater, I really wanted to introduce some watercolor into the picture, so I decided to use that as just kind of for the base color, and then I would use my color pencils to add highlights or bring in shadows and things like that. So it was kind of fun to kind of work with a couple of different mediums in this one piece. So when you're working on pictures, don't be afraid to, mix it up. You don't have to do just strictly one medium. You can mix it up, do colored pencils and markers together, or paints and color pencils, or, just have fun with that. It kind of makes it creative if you can kind of mix it up a little bit. So I wanted to talk a little bit about why I feel it's important to draw with other artists. And I find one that it challenges you. If you can see another artist who draws differently, has maybe a different style than you, has a different skill level, has a different expertise, not to be intimidated by that, but embrace that and encourage yourself to get out there and draw with them. It is a fun challenge to go ahead and share a picture and put those pieces together. That was a fun game that my friends and I used to play when I was younger. We would each sit down and draw a picture, and then we would set the timer, and when the timer would go off, then we'd have to switch the pictures without saying anything about our pictures, continue on drawing. So I would draw her picture and she would draw mine, and then again 3 minutes and switch it back and forth. And by the end, kind of look what the drawing was coming from, and it was fun, but it also kind of made you think outside of your box, because you're not the complete controller of one piece of artwork. You have to kind of relinquish some of this. And it was fun to think of different elements that I could introduce in my drawing that could translate up into Baylee's drawing. So you'll see the rocks, when they go up to the surface, they end, but they could still be part of the surface, and kind of to see what Baylee would do with those. Baylee definitely got the harder end of this. Taking the drawing that I did and then continuing it on, I always think is more challenging and much more nerve-wracking, I think. I'm working on a collaboration with another artist friend of mine, and they did the first piece, and I'm still working on it, trying to get it the way I like it, because I'm like, no, I don't want to ruin it. So Baylee, you're amazing at what you did. And you're just going to see how vibrant the color pencils work with the watercolor. It just really deepens that out there. And so the watercolor is kind of like the mid-tone. And so I'll use the color pencils to then push in those shadows and highlights. And one thing I really challenge all of my art students is to not be afraid of dark. You need your dark shadows to really bring forth your highlights. But in turn with that, don't cover up all your highlights. You need that really happy medium. If you just darken a whole picture and you don't have any highlights, then you have the same problem that you would have had if it's all really soft and pale. But if you find that, you have a drawing and it's kind of just washed out a little bit, just find places that you can really push in some color. Whether you're using color, like color pencils or watercolor, or you're just using, just straight lead on your pencil, really vary the value that you put into that. The depth of that, the darkness and the highlights, just really going to make things begin to pop out of there. Adding color is all about layering this up. Whether you do it with color pencils or markers or paints, you're going to begin to build those colors up slowly. So you'll see that I'm slowly layering just different tones. It's all not just the same tone or a darker shade of that. I'm using blues for shadows and purples and grays and darker browns and peaches and oranges, and just working really softly. I have a whole series that I did just recently on how to use color pencils, and I take so through several different videos, talk about step by step how to begin to apply in your color pencils to get that just really fun, rich color. So if you have more questions about that, you can definitely check those videos out to kind of give you little helps and hints on that. If you are brand new to Art a la Carte, I want to give you a little heads up of some of the things that we do here. I post 4 videos every week. On Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays are tutorial videos. And then Fridays are kind of a personal video, sometimes a vlog, sometimes just a funny, goofy video. I definitely take requests, suggestions. So a lot of my viewers, if there's something that they really have been wanting to learn how to draw, just leave that in the comment section below. I listen to everyone's comments. I usually take the most popular requested ones first, but every once in a while someone will suggest something that makes me just go, yeah, I want to draw that. And so it might get pushed up to the top because of inspiration points. Well, I'm just about finished with this drawing, adding a few finishing touches with my white gel pen. Well, here's the final part, at least my part, so it's only really half of it. I really, really love what Baylee did with her piece, and it's so fun how our styles just kind of complement each other. I love it, love it, love it. So again, if you have not seen Baylee's part of the video, definitely jump over, take a look at her video. It's super exciting. I know I'm going to be watching the full thing. I haven't seen it yet. And if you haven't yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of my future videos. And until next time, God bless you guys, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye. So that it's not such a vivid line as more of a